Hi. I don't have any cool intro music yet, so just use your imagination. The idea for this project actually came from the Bayliner Owners Club. People were discussing what they were using to replace their rotted out bushings and washers in their sliding windows. I ended up looking at mine and saw that mine were also in really bad condition. And by bad condition, I mean they were basically falling apart as I was taking them out. I did find a good one though. I got the calipers out, took a bunch of measurements, and then opened up Fusion 360. Yeah, so when you're measuring existing things, especially something that's old and kind of rotten, I tend to overcompensate on the thickness of things, especially if they're soft, and undercompensate anything that is, say, fitting going through a hole or something that fit into another hole. And as you do more of stuff like this, you'll get a better grasp of how to compensate, and experience and everything will push you forward. Um, Overall, it's better to have a little bit more than a little bit less because it's easier to take away. Something like casting resin shims for an engine mount, per se. You can always sand down and compensate for something that's already existing instead of having to recast. So, another bit of advice that I'd give is take an average of thicknesses and diameters and widths across the surface of something that's kind of rotted. Average those out, and then generally I add roughly about 10%. That seems to give me enough extra material to play with, and like I said before, it's always better to have a little bit more than a little bit less. You can always take away, it's really, really hard to add. Though with the 3D printing, it's been really nice. I can print something out really lightweight, test fit it. If it is not perfect or if it needs to be adjusted, I can adjust it in the program and reprint until it's damn near where it needs to be. After a little bit of research, I decided to use white PETG filament. It's supposed to hold up very well to the weather. Sun exposure is good, water exposure is good. Won't degrade and fall apart like PLA is supposed to. It's also pretty strong, and I actually like it a lot better for printing because it just seems to flow better, which is hard to explain if you've never actually 3D printed anything. I chose white initially because the only existing washer that I found that was still in one piece was, well, white. Turns out that was nearly 4 decades of UV exposure had completely degraded what was originally a black washer. So, of course, I did this and printed off a whole batch of them before I found an OEM one that was still in good condition. So, no reason that these can't be printed in black. I have the white on the boat now, and actually, I think it looks a lot better. The rubber bushing that actually seals to the window, I printed in TPU 85A, which is a hardness rating. TPU stands for thermoplastic polyurethane. It's oil resistant, it's fuel resistant, it's weather resistant, it's elastic, it's really, really, really cool. I've had a lot of fun printing things out of it. There's the cable organizer that I designed and printed that I'm going to feature in a future video. I've been teaching myself Fusion 360 by watching videos from Product Design Online. He has a Learn Fusion 360 in 30 days free online course. I'll provide a link in the description below. The washer in the bushing represents the OEM kind of style. I also went ahead and did a thicker rubber bushing, a printout of 95A TPU that would eliminate the actual washer itself. You would just have to put a small stainless steel washer under the screw when you screw it in. I opted to go for the OEM look. Eventually, I'm going to have these files available for people to download and print these out themselves. So there is the option of a single bushing for whoever might want to do that. And of course, here is that original pile of white washers before I discovered they were actually black. Um, they don't look half bad. Those were printed on a textured build plate. Has doesn't affect the sealing properties at all. I ended up buying a smooth build plate to print off more of these, and then for other future seals or anything that I want to play around with. Installation's pretty easy. The hole in the rubber bushing has a slight interference fit with the screw going through it, so as it tightens down, it will compress around it to seal the threads. Um, but easily enough, screw goes in the washer, then that goes through the bushing, then you set that in your window inside the hole in the glass. There's a picture of me in case you were wondering what I looked like without a beard. And then on the inside, that's the little knob. Screw it down, hand tight, and there it is. Mission accomplished. I hope you found this useful and entertaining in any degree. This is really video number one. Just dipping my toe in the water and trying to figure out how best to convey information. Um, that is helpful and usable for people that really have never done something like this before. If you're just here because you search Bayliner 38 or 32 or one of the 45 footers and you're just looking for window bushings, um, I do make and sell these. Just shoot me a message. Eventually, I'm going to set up like a printables page and have this stuff ready for people to download so you can print them yourselves. I guess I really don't have anything else to add. So I'll see you on the next one.